Welcome back to the Boys in Motion podcast, everybody. Spring is around the corner. Race season is creeping up on all of us, and things are either going really, really well with your block or not going too well at all. I might be in that camp, but we'll dissect that a little bit. So I'm Brian. I'm here with Andrew and Tyler, and today we're doing a full spring prep check-in. We're going to talk about where our fitness is at, what we see like creeping up in the calendar, all of those races that we're excited for, and we're going to hype up a little something we've been cooking up. You've seen it on social, but we're going to talk about it a little bit more in detail now that a lot of the details are set in stone. We're talking about the BIM 5K.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Yeah, it's that time of the year when the work is hopefully starting to show, or you're questioning everything and, contemplating things with your coach of whether goals are still possible. So whether you're feeling fit right now or dreading that long run and just trying to survive it, this is a good reason.
Ferg, that is true. I really like my coach's choice this year. I've been really having a good relationship with him, and we're just gonna keep this one loosey-goosey, talk about our updates. Of course, like Brian mentioned, talk about our shift 5K, gotta clock in, and let's get into it.
Okay, super. So let's kick it off with the BIM 5K this year, the night shift 5K. Super innovative idea. I think this is one that Niagara has been missing. So I'm super excited for all of us to be bringing this to the Niagara community. A ton of runners have already signed up, but we still have a few slots left. And I think the signups that come in the next few days or maybe the next week, they get a free month of LA fitness membership. So yeah, there's a lot more that is on offer. So I'd love to talk about kind of what your guys' thoughts on why this event hits a little bit different than other 5Ks people have been at in the past, and even other 5Ks that we've organized in the past.
Yeah, I can kick this one off. So I think the first one is that this will have an evening race vibe and energy. So that's definitely quite different from a lot of those early mornings that you're used to. This will be at Oaks Park under the lights. So it'll be kind of that fun late night party. So while some people are out at the bars on a Saturday night, we'll be at the track. And I think what this one really hits home very well, and I think the containedness of the track will help with this, is that community first vibe. There will be 4 heats and then a relay at the end, but because everyone's going to be hanging around for that relay, we're all going to be hanging out at the track, so you're going to be cheering on for the different heats that are happening. So really just be kind of like a nice community party, cheering on runners, taking your time, clocking in, doing your shift, and then you can get right back to partying. So it should be a good time.
Yeah, I'm super excited for that community vibe. Like, I think this is something that Niagara running scene has been missing, especially like being a Niagara local and seeing all of the cool events that get put on in bigger cities like Ottawa and Toronto. I think this is, going to really revitalize
I'm very
all
excited.
of the
I think I'm mostly
Ty,
excited for, just seeing everybody, a lot of vendors coming out, and like Andrew mentioned, charity partners, things like that. And of course, we've got DJ. The vibe will be going pretty good, I think, for the most part. And a lot of people are going to be hitting those PRs. I know it. And I don't know about you, but those lights get me fired up. We were there this past weekend doing a sneaky photo shoot. So content to come out soon from that. And I mean, those lights just fire me the heck up.
Yeah. And I think one of the big things about this is that, you've noticed the price. It's only $20, and it's supporting Canadian Tire Jumpstart charities. So, I mean, as Tyler always says, you're losing money if you're not coming here, because we have tons of great prizes and local businesses supporting us. Leading the way is Runner's Edge, who's putting up some awesome prizes, and Sinister Sports, who is putting up some pretty ridiculous grand prizes as well. So it should be a lot of fun, a lot of prizes to be won, and there will be some nice photography. It's confirmed now that we'll have 2 photographers on scene, Josh McMillan shooting film, and then Bree McKinnon shooting digital photography. So there should be lots of cool moments captured throughout the night as well.
Yeah, that's spectacular. I mean, like, it's one thing to get everybody together for a run, but it's a whole other thing when there's so much that supports that run, supports the atmosphere, and supports the legacy of the event with the, capturing the moment, and also all of the people that are going to be able to like go further with their prizes, whether it's, an extra month of working out at LA Fitness, whether it's having to go run an ultra marathon because you're a wicked fast 5K runner, or some of those prizes in between. I'm also super excited because there will be sort of an after party, I guess, at Blackburn, since we're giving out, we gave out a free beer with the first few registrations. Those people that were on the ball and committed early got a free beer tab with their registration. Is that sort of the idea that we go back there after?
We'll have to kind of figure out timing and stuff because they stay open till 10, but then they would extend to 11. So we'll have to figure out if timing would work. Maybe it would be a good spot for people to go. The organizers will probably still be cleaning up and stuff, but maybe we'll have, a chief of fun that isn't Tyler that will lead the party there, because we know normally it would be Tyler.
That's it. Yeah, he'd for sure be sprinting over there. He might not PR his 5K around the track, but he'd certainly PR the 5K headed over to Blackburn.
Speaking of PRs, the cat is out of the bag that, unlike previous years where it's been kind of a little bit more DIY, more similar to parkrun, this will be an official chip time event. So those PRs on the track will be official. So that's something to look forward to if you had like a big milestone that you were going to. This is an official PR.
And we're bringing over Ironman vibes, of course. It's the ankle tracking and a PR bell. So it's not a first-time 5K bell like we see at the first-time Ironmans, but we got a PR bell and the beautiful ankle tracking. So it's going to be very nice.
Yeah, that's absolutely incredible, especially for like a sign-up fee of $20. I feel like there's so much value. So if you haven't already signed up, now's the time. And if you're not interested in running, but you know a runner, send it to them. And even better, like show up yourself. Even if you're not actually going to be running an event, if you know the three of us, you're for sure going to know a ton of people running this event. And we're making it fun for spectators and for the athletes there. So this is really the one to show up to.
Yep. As we like to always say, what's the worst that could happen?
Yeah, no, that's great. I'm excited. Now I want to grill a little bit. I'm going to investigator mode. Let's grill a little bit of our spring training check-in, let's call it. And let's just go around table, see how things are going, current fitness, where are we at, and how are we feeling?
Honestly, I don't want to start with me because mine's maybe a little more depressing relative to some of the volume and success that I've seen Andrew have in his early block. So Andrew, I'd love to, toss the mic over to you so that we can at least be inspired by a story of success and grind.
I can kick it off. I wouldn't say, at least according to my coach, and we can get more into that later, he's given me a lot of 6 out of 10 weeks. So if we're talking about current fitness, I'll give myself a 6 out of 10 because that's what my coach tells me. But I'm just off of a deload week. So that's why if you were investigating, my mileage was a little bit lower last week. And that was on purpose as a deload as I kind of go out of the endurance and kind of ramp up with a little bit of longer workouts, more intense workouts, and getting into kind of the VO2 sessions. But if I had to use one word to describe the first 4 or 5 weeks, is consistent. I haven't missed a workout. I think there's been one that has been modified just because I switched days to prioritize the main workout. But overall, it's been going pretty good. The fitness is coming along. There's been some harder workouts and like where I'm like I think this should feel easier, but overall it's going good. How about you, Tyler? How are things
everything's
over
going
there with
well, let's say,
Trevor?
according to Trevor, it can't get any worse. So yeah, I mean, I'm doing good. Like you said in your update, I'm also very consistent at not running, so it's very good. I'm doing 2 runs a week now. I brought it back up to 2 runs, and I mean, yeah, that's as consistent as I'm gonna get. This week's a little tougher with Trevor's increasing my volume a little bit, and getting in that 3rd run this week, I'm hoping will tip me over that line and get me closer to that main spring goal. So I'm very excited, and I mean, I am feeling good, so that's a positive. And I mean, the fitness is coming back pretty quick, to be honest. So
I want to come to your defense a little bit. I think you need to give a little bit more context of you're not just training for running events right now. So you're doing 2 to 3 runs, but you're doing
Yeah, a
few
little bit
other
of
things as well.
stretch
Is
and
that right?
mobility, dabbling into a high rocks actually right now. So I am basically having this, let's call it same timeline as so I have a half marathon and then going into a high rocks competition 2 weeks later. McDuff's my partner on that one, so we're doing a duo male competition. And yeah, he's on me to get to the gym, and I'm on him to get to the running. So I mean, I think we're going to be a good duo, and we're ready to crush it. We're talking lots of strategy right now, and he's in the gym a little bit longer than me. But I mean, I think I'm going to crack down these next 8 or so weeks and just get jacked.
Now, I do have a question for you. We did a tempo session together this weekend when we were in Niagara, and you gave me a very specific pace that I lied to you about during the run, but you were quick to call me out. But I'd like to hear a little bit about how the tempo experience was and how kind of what it
The
told you
Runnerman
about your
Andy
current
tempo
fitness.
was not recommended for it's not for the faint of heart. I guess I went out 20 seconds per kilometer quicker for the first 2K of a 5K effort, and then I dialed it right back. I was seeing stars by the end of it. It was real nice. I mean, I think that tempo workout should not have been a lactate threshold workout. Is the what I'm gonna say.
I'm confused. Is that not what tempo
I
generally
mean,
is? Is that your lactate threshold? Or
I
has
mean,
it is it
I
that your
was
lactate
treating
threshold
that
has
more,
changed?
let's call it as a it was supposed to be a marathon paced effort, as a, let's call it, yeah, a lower threshold tempo workout. So like I didn't want to call it a marathon paced workout because of course I'm not training for a marathon, and it wasn't that long. So like it was just more of a, yeah, I guess it's called tempo, and I mean Trevor told me to call it tempo. So lactate I was doing a little bit faster than that. And yeah, I guess Andrew kept me on the brink of that lactate, almost VO2 max to be honest. So
I think it was just a translation error. I think you told me tempo, and
LT2
I
maybe,
heard
yeah.
LT, and I said zoom. It was definitely windy, and we went into Henley Island. So the down, all the boys were loving the down into the island, but I dropped Mark on the hill, and Tyler, that's when you told me that you started seeing black. So
Uphill into the wind. I mean, that's good
maybe needs a little
training
bit of
for
work.
my ultra, but yeah, not for a flat downhill race. But I mean, yeah, let's say that the routing also could have been better, but I can't complain because I didn't do the route. So kudos to Runnerman Andy for picking the route.
I was trying to find the balance between this is a fun route and a good route for tempo. I didn't want to just be doing circles in a neighborhood, and hills aren't a bad thing. You're gonna have to do that one big hill for the Toronto half. So if you can't do that Henley
hills pay
Island
the bills,
hill,
right?
oof,
So I
you're
mean,
gonna have a
I
tough time.
completed it, and Coach Trevor told me he's really happy I even finished that run due to those wins. He thought I was gonna stop halfway through.
Okay, I think now is the natural time for me to ask because I'm being blindsided one by the fact that you guys are talking about having coaches, and then second with the names of your coaches being what I think is a reference to the Trailer Park Boys, but I'm not actually
Frig,
too
I
sure.
actually didn't even know that that was a reference to Trailer Park Boys. My mom never let me watch it. So,
Okay, well, Corey and Trevor are kind of the two sidekick
for
guys that are
frig,
always
so
following
see,
the
that
main
works even
three
better.
of the gang
No, but
around.
Coach Trevor, I pay $5 a month for him, and he's friggin' chat GBD, baby. I have a coach prompt given from Runnerman Andy himself. The cat's out of the bag, and I am using Coach Trevor, which I called him, I baptized him by Trevor, myself, and he is giving me a road to sub 90 plan, and it's going very well according to him.
Okay, that's awesome. Yeah, I feel like, yeah, Andrew, tell me more about one, this prompt, two, about how this can be shared, of course, with myself, but potentially even like in some sort of structured environment rolled out to the crew.
Yeah, so this block, I decided to do things a little bit differently, a little bit more structured, which structure is not always something I do a ton of. I like to go a little willy-nilly oftentimes, but I wanted to add some structure to get, squeeze that lemon, get a little bit more. So I started by making a prompt and a project for myself in Claude. And I think we'll need to talk about the Claude versus ChatGPT because there's some discrepancies in how
Well,
our
and like, I mean, the dollar amounts that these AI companies are throwing at some big like deals and partnerships, I want some of that money too. We might be able to get a few million if we, partner with the right AI provider.
it is true. But essentially, I made a prompt and I would like, for me specifically, I said that I like Singer. I kind of gave it a role identity, gave it my PRs, kind of gave it some coaching principles. Kind of like one of the big things is that, again, we need to chat about this because something got lost in translation when I sent it to Tyler. But like, I want this coach to challenge me, to push me to get the most out of myself and don't just kind of validate when I tell you why I missed a thing. Like I really want you to challenge me and kind of figure out the root of certain things. It helps me set up the blocks, does daily and post-workout check-ins, will ask me about nutrition, do weekly reviews, race prep strategy, and kind of debriefs. So I have this as a custom prompt with like very specific information about me, PRs, what I'm training for, tune-up races, all of that kind of stuff. And then I just chat with it daily and kind of get specific information about today's workout, what's coming up, if there's anything that comes up, how I can modify my week to best adapt to that. For example, this long run that I did on a Saturday, I kind of switched my week slightly to adapt to running with. So the funny part is that I feel like I need to share this story because when I first shared I'm running with my friend, he's a 3:30 marathoner, this is going to be my long run, the first thing that Claude said to me was, is it socially acceptable for you to meet at Bright Pours and then run by yourself because Tyler is too slow? First thing he
So
said.
I love this. So this, I think, is the real next step in like AI coaches moving away from a Runna or like some sort of plan, like app like that. That's just like too nice. I think most runners want a coach or like an AI coach provider to have that kind of attitude. It's like using OpenClaw and you could give it a soul as it interviews you and it can actually learn about how you want it to act with you. Because I want that kind of banter. I want my coach just to be like
and
one
I
of the
think
boys
just
chirping at me.
before Andrew continues, as an example, the complete opposite is, again, I gave it the exact same prompt and I just messaged my coach Trevor and I said, hi, today is Monday and I didn't run the prescribed amount. It goes, totally fine. Monday rest day is actually not bad after the week you had. This is a very smart decision.
So this is perfect because it knows how to kind of get the best out of each of you. I like it.
But yeah, it is confusing how the same prompt, I mean, I think this is a Claude versus ChatGPT comparison and ChatGPT just being a yes man. But it is interesting if you tell me that you did not change your instruction section, that our coaches treat us very differently. Very, very differently is all I'll say. I'm going to grab a couple of things that it said to me at the beginning because there's some things I got to share for sure.
Well, I am very excited to get my hands on this. And I could imagine, of course, like people in the community, if you're hearing this conversation and you're like, I want access to that too, let us know because yeah, these are exciting things that we can, try to build for other people and see how we can make this accessible to more. But this is yeah, very exciting and I love the idea of this because I've like plugged away of like make me a plan, but I haven't used it in this way of like
I wanted to
interaction
answer me.
throughout the
I
block,
wanted to
and I think there's a
initiate
lot of value
conversations
there.
next. Friggin' text me first.
Yeah, check that I uploaded on Strava and then give me a chirp if it's not a good session. Those kind of things.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's the next step for
Yeah.
sure. I kind of told myself I'm gonna go at least one block, see how I use it, to actually get like data of like what I want out of this, and then build more. Like I don't want to build too early. But I have to read this because one of the big things that I'm often bad at is fueling. Day of work, I'll just forget to eat. And let me tell you, Coach Claude called me out hot at the beginning. And one of my favorite quotes from Coach Claude was, "And I swear, if tomorrow's food report is a grapefruit and coffee, I'm going to lose it. Eat like a marathoner, not a monk." Just too good. Just hitting me with
Love
the
it.
chirps. It's like
This is
having
incredible. This is what I've been missing.
it's like having Pete and Dutchie just straight in my ear, just as Coach
Well, it is.
Claude.
It's a hybrid of Pete and Dutchie. And then mine is a hybrid of my mom and my dad. I don't know. It's just like, hey, you're fine. Everything is okay. You don't really have to run today. You're going to be all right.
Okay, well, this is super exciting. I'm very interested to see what your like initial thoughts are, both of you. And yeah, I'm excited to see like, yeah, how can I contribute to just make this thing better and how can I start testing it? Because this sounds like a lot of fun. And it also sounds very valuable because I'm at the stage where I'm using my Koros watch for my plan, but like it's not giving me the same amount of interaction, which then doesn't create enough social pressure to then, yeah, it's just not as good as like having, a bot that's really talking
And
you
I mean,
through
for
or
me, what I
talking
find
with
it
you
one of the
about your
great
training plan.
benefits actually is just uploading like screen. I literally upload screenshots of my Strava, so just like the main page, heart rate distribution, workout distribution, and it like analyzes it like in bullet points and very obviously in plain English. Like, okay, this is what these numbers mean. This makes sense because of this. I want you to tweak this, and like this is what we should be doing next time. So it's like obviously I could read my own Strava feed and like look at how I did numbers wise, but like this coach will actually tell you what these numbers mean, which is kind of great.
Yeah, that's really cool. And Andrew, you might be interested in this, but like direct from Strava, you can like download all your data, of course. And like it would be interesting to see if like that entire export could actually feed the bot with like all of the context of all of your workouts, in addition to like an interview at the top to really get to know you. But yeah, this is exciting. This is really cool.
Yeah, I think like there's a ton of apps now, like Kaizen, Rana, like where it's AI, but then also telling you fitness. I think integrating this with Strava, you could easily get a lot of that, without an extra subscription. So I think it's good. Pinching pennies.
Yeah, super cool. Yeah, lots of opportunity there. So I have a question for you both. If you could kind of share your like best or worst workout that you've had recently, just to kind of gauge where your fitness is. Like, have you done any PRs on certain sessions, or have you really been like, oh man, I used to be able to do this, pace, and now I can't hit it anymore, just as a gauge for where you think you might be for the spring?
I can start. I see Tyler asking Trevor to give him a compliment of his training, so I'll kick it off. I had a marathon pace session where it was around 8 miles, and I was like struggling quite a bit. I hit like 6:08, I believe, 6:08 miles, which would be around 350s, I believe, give or
Yeah,
take.
just like sub 4 by a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah. But it felt hard. This was the first marathon pace workout. So it was like I was able to keep it under control, but I was like, this is hard. And then the next one, I had 10 miles and I finished so that's around 16K. I finished with a 6:03 average and felt very in control. So that was like a good like indication that just in 2 weeks my fitness had improved quite a bit. So that's closer to that 350, I believe, which is closer to around the target for my marathon. So that was nice to see. But then 2 weeks after that, I was on the treadmill. Frig, that's another change from this, but we don't need to get into that dread. And then I did a 8K at LT, and it was a day where it was very humid outside, so the gym was super hot, and I did it, and I did it at 550 miles. But at the end, I literally felt like my heart was about to explode. So it was like it was done, but it did not feel good, and I was like, I need to do that for another, 8 miles. that wasn't even half of the race. So
Tough.
yeah, it's every week's workout is still tough, and it's still just trying to work your way through it.
I
Cool.
mean,
What
yeah,
about you,
Andrew, I've been looking at your workouts. They seem like they're getting more and more intense. And yeah, you're telling me some of those stories on the treadmill. And I mean, that's making me think about hitting the treadmill actually this week for my LT, because I have an LT coming up, and which I have been executing, which is the only thing I've been executing, but at least I've been executing my LT workouts. But yeah, this week I guess they're just keep increasing the LT until we get into the VO2 max sessions. But I want to highlight my Lactate workout last week, which was a 4x2K, which again I'm trending towards hopefully getting close to a sub 90. So I know, Brian, you've done it a couple times. So I don't know if this is, well, I guess this is not in the range yet, but Coach Trevor is telling me I'm getting close to that range. So I guess I'm basically sliding my LT from, I think they want it from 440, which was my LT in the first week, down to a 415. So apparently cutting almost 30 seconds off of an LT is doable, according to Trevor. But yeah, my run last week was 4x2, and the reps were 433 pace, 433 pace, 435, and then 429. So that was a really good response, I think, to get that last rep at under 9 minutes, so under 430 per kilometer. Felt really good actually after that, and the weather was not too bad. A little chilly with a little bit of rain near the end. So, I mean, I think, and a little bit of hills where I was. So I think the response from that LT was quite.
Yeah, I mean, that's a very good workout. There's a lot of volume in that. I remember seeing that and being like, well, it's not quite like it's not like 415, it's not, 417 where you need to be while you're running the half. It's, you obviously like started at a certain pace and were able to hold that and actually, do a little better in the last rep. So it's nice to walk away from a session
Yeah,
where
exactly.
you're
And
feeling good,
and
right?
like I've been reading, other than just Coach Trevor, that you're trying to, like, I don't want to overreach and aim for that goal pace right now, now that I know that I can't hit it yet, right? So I'm working towards that pace, and on week 3 I'm slowly trending closer towards that pace. So for example, like the first week I think was 2x3K at LT, and I was a bit slower. The second week was 4x2, getting a bit faster and increasing that load. And then my third week now is 3x3, so I'll be at 9K under LT, and technically supposed to be faster as well. So I think just every week they'll be dropping my pace and increasing my distance at that threshold. So I think it's on the up and ups.
Yeah, nice. I have one more question for you, which is, with all of this high rocks that you're doing, some time ago you were talking about the body recomp, wanting to lose weight, at least shed a little bit of body fat, get a little bit leaner so that you had more muscle pushing you forward. Have you noticed any changes with all the lifting you've been doing? And obviously, like, all of this dedication has probably also influenced your diet a little bit.
Diet has definitely changed, and I've been feeling a lot better, more energetic, and having a lot more protein. But unfortunately, not too many weights have been lifted, let's call it. I have been doing a little bit, but not nearly as much as I should be, and I will not lie about that. I have not hit as many weights as I want to, but I mean, I got 8 weeks, so I got lots of time.
So that's what I'm saying to myself as well, because I'm technically doing an 8-week block. The last week was the first week since I returned from vacation, and I was supposed to get in like 65K or something, and I ended up doing 35K. So I was quite a bit under, but I was still happy because I did an hour of cycling with that. But I definitely feel like and I posted this on Strava, the rules that we've always talked about of like gradual increase of your mileage and that sort of thing are sort of out of the window for this training block for myself. So I'm doing 3 weeks of just like base building where I'm like jumping quite a bit in volume, and then I'll start VO2 and lact and some LT tempo stuff. but it's just like I'm diving headfirst. So it's like injury or we're golden. But the goal is to run that sub 90. So I think
high
we're going
risk,
to
high
have a good
reward,
showdown
and
at
I
the
mean
Toronto half.
maybe we can get away with things like that because of the time on feet in general, with like going year by year, right? Like you've seen these miles before. It's not like a shock to your system. So I think also it kind of works in your favor. And I mean, I'm slowly increasing, but eventually I'm hoping to jump up quite a bit and stay there, of course, throughout the summer. So again, I think that's a good approach. And I mean, 8 weeks, bang it out and good to go. But I'm very excited to hear you're looking at that sub 90 as well, and hopefully you could pace me through that finish.
Yeah, I think it's really going to be a good showdown because obviously I'm like you've had a little bit more training. Like I took 3 weeks basically off entirely with a little bit of hiking, which doesn't prepare you for the intensity of a half. But I'll be able to hopefully put in 8 good weeks, and I have the confidence of already having run the speed multiple times for the distance, which definitely adds a lot mentally of like, yes, I know I can do this because I've done it before. So I just need to feel relatively good and I should be able to do it. With you coming in with a lot of good strength work with a really good base and hopefully the pace in your feet, I think it'll be a good showdown. I think it'll be, yeah, like McDuff, you, myself will be able
That's
to
the
start
funnest
together,
part.
but who knows where we'll end up at the end.
Oh, Mark will be in the mix too. Mark will definitely be in the mix because he dropped Tyler on that tempo. So we'll see. I think he'll be gunning for you.
Oh no!
Sorry,
he dropped me,
thought
but
that
he was
you
doing
dropped
a
Mark,
max
not the
anaerobic
other way
effort.
around.
He was in no man's land.
So this is the thing. Mark has been putting in, like, he got a good plan on paper and he's been executing very well. He's getting the crew out to run on the weekends and he's getting the runs in during the weeks. And like some of those are actual workouts where I'm just focused on the base for now, and then I'll start to add that speed once I'm up on my mileage. So yeah, I think we'll
I'm
have a really
excited.
good
It's
showdown
gonna be
between
really
a few characters from the BIM squad. And then Andrew will be able to film our finishes once he's been, relaxing, chilling for 20 minutes or so.
Hopefully not. If I cross the line before you guys have had a bad day.
And
Because
true. I forgot you're doing the
there's
full.
an hour.
I forgot you're
I'm doing the full. Yes.
Yeah.
So there's an hour gap. So yeah.
and Andrew?
You guys
Did
would
we
have to have a
finish
very
like
bad day for me
minutes
to finish
behind
this.
each other last year?
Yeah, I think you finished because you ran a 1:33 last year. So yeah, you finished probably 5 to 10 minutes.
Oh yeah, I
before.
remember
It was
watching you
perfect.
cross. Yeah, watching you cross that corner. Yeah, so that's what we're hoping again this year. And I mean, yeah, it's going to be very exciting, and I think the after party will be even more fun.
Yeah, no, that's great. So one last thing to talk about, which is our like actual year goals. I forget what they were. Maybe we can go around quick, say what our like annual goal was and how we're tracking against that.
I guess my big stretch goal, I would say, is to get to as close to 2:35 as I can in the marathon. So that is my stretch goal. We'll see if that's a spring goal, whether it's a fall goal, I'm not sure, but that's the North Star that Claude is trying to push me towards. So that's definitely the big race goal for me this year.
Right now, 1 out of 10, how confident are you in that goal?
For the year, I would say it's like a solid 6 out of 10, just like Claude tells me.
10's pretty good. 6 out of
that's
10's
pretty good.
darn good.
So he still has confidence in me. So, yeah, no, it feels good. The fitness is definitely improving. The consistency is there. I'm doing the small things a lot better than and just being very time efficient. So yeah, it's going.
Let me ask Trevor. Give me a second.
But you tell.
I mean, I'm feeling good. I think the vibes are high. I'm getting back into the motion of actually training. I just feel good. I'll tell you my goal.
Though? What is the goal?
Yeah, is your goal
I'll tell
just
you.
vibes? Is your goal just vibes?
I'll tell you my
You've been
goal
talking
in a
to
second.
ChatGPT
I'm just
too
giving
much.
you an intro to the goal. I'm feeling good. The vibes are high. The vibes are 10 out of 10. And I've asked Trevor about this. He says I'm doing very well as well. So no, I think those those milestones, the sub 25K, the sub 90 half, and then getting into a ultra block, which is going to be something brand new for me, and I don't really have any time expectations there. I just really want to have fun. And then of course that Chicago Marathon, just a quick round number of 3:15 or better would be very nice.
Yeah, that's a big year, but all of those, like, of course it requires you to actually run those distances, the sub 25, the sub 90 half, and the 3:15 full. It requires you to do those, but if you can
Yeah.
do one, I think you can do them all, which is also good. If you're at that level of fitness, you've got enough volume that the
Yeah, I
marathon
think
should
they
be
kind of
doable if you
work
can
hand in
crack,
hand, is kind of
20
why I
to
want to
90.
make that my year, and just, yeah, go for the speed, but also get the distance and the volume in while I'm at it. So yeah, very exciting.
And how about you, Brian?
Yeah, so for myself, I haven't made much progress since the last time I KOM'd, which I think was still in January. So if everything was flat throughout the year, right now I should be, upwards of 20, probably above 25 KOMs, and I have 4, I believe. So I'll definitely have some work to do once the spring weather comes, but it's tough when it's slippy and slidey. I was also away. I was hoping to get a KOM while I was traveling in Africa, but when I was in the cities around Kilimanjaro, my goodness, were the paces ever fast around there. And then when I was on the island, there's one that I wanted to get on the beach. I figured I could do it, but unfortunately, the one day that I was hoping to do it, the tides were up and I couldn't actually run that route. So I've ended up not being able to progress on that goal at all. But the confidence is still there. I've got a ton of stuff kind of mapped out on Strava. So once my fitness is a little stronger, I can start to tackle some of those running ones. And then once the gang is out there on the bikes, well, then it's truly hunting season. I'm excited for that first proper ride of the year where I'm feeling good and the wind's in the right direction so that I can, bang off 10 in one ride. I think that would be awesome to try to do as a goal.
Oh baby, that sounds real nice. I wish I would find it really funny if it wasn't keep and people could come behind and steal them from you, but unfortunately that's not the case. Because then
That
it's
would be
just you're
so
just
scuffed.
always chasing.
Just always managing. I would have nightmares of getting that email from Strava that Andrew has, come to Font Hill and snagged a segment.
Yeah. It would give you the Burrito League feeling when you just, they've stolen the crown
For
from
sure.
you, which, is a good get out the door motivator. So
100%. I could see if it was, maybe a more reasonable number of lockdown 30 or something, but trying to do 100 in itself means every third day I need to be getting a KOM basically all year round. And obviously we see that isn't evenly distributed. So there's going to have to be some big weeks of KOM hunting, but it's a fun goal. It's something that, doesn't involve me paying race fees or having to train too hard for a long session. It's just go out, prove
Always
your
keep the
fitness
knife sharp
every week.
and I mean it's going to be fun. I think like you said, once the weather gets nicer, everything starts rolling again, you'll definitely be crushing, banging more than one out at a time kind of thing. Yeah.
Yeah, the thing I am realizing is I need to maybe shift my training focus a little to do some of the plyometric movement to be able to get some of those shorter running segments in, to basically train like a sprinter, like a 400, 800 meter runner a little bit more. So I'm excited to maybe mix some of those sessions in once I'm done the half. And then on the bike, it's going to be all VO2 all the time. So I'll need to be doing quite a bit of VO2 work.
And I
as
mean,
well.
I think on the bike, one upgrade you could do is get those rim brakes off, and maybe you'll go a bit faster too.
I don't know if that's more aero. The only thing I know is that being in your draft would make me a whole lot more aero. So if you come out with a nice expensive bike and let me sit in your draft while I bang out some sprints, I think that's really the big bang on for buck. So I'd rather spend money on
Okay,
coffee
let's
and
do
donuts
that. I'll
for
come
friends
down.
than to
I'll get
upgrade
an
my bike.
expensive bike for the boys. We'll do a couple draft sessions, and who knows, maybe just come up to Ottawa. We'll do a little bit of piggybacking off of some of these nice mountains, and we'll go from there.
Yeah, the problem is we're not beating, Mike Woods, Derek G, or Mateo
with the
on
new
any of the
Damani
Gatineau
Plus
Park
with the
segments.
pedal assist.
So,
Anything
it's
can
gonna be
happen.
tough. Yeah, pedal assist, whatever that means, for sure. Okay, I want to end the episode with something a little bit fun. Andrew, you are our token marathon man, and you're the man who's logged the most miles running. And I have 5 absolutely spectacular runs that I'd like you to rank from best to worst blindly. Are you ready?
Oh, I'm ready. Hit me with them.
Okay, so starting off strong and kind of piggybacking on the run you had this weekend. It's the impromptu long run with a friend where you kind of have the plan of just going out easy, and then 90 minutes, 2 hours later, 2.5 hours later, you're still running, you're competing with one another, and the vibes are just high.
Ooh, that's a good run. I mean, it's a long run, which is a great run. You have someone to chat with, someone to push. Oh, go ahead.
I do want to caveat, just so you know, I've put a quite like a hall of fame of runs up here. So just keep that in mind. Like every single one of these could arguably be the run of the year.
Okay, then I'll start middle of the pack, knowing that you're probably just gonna sewer me now, but I'll give it a 3.
Okay, I like that. It gives you some room on both sides. Okay, the next run is that first. I know you love running shirtless, so that first shirtless run of the year where the temperature's just warm enough, the sun's beating down, you can
And the
throw a pair of
tummy is
shades
out.
on and let the neighborhood know who's king.
Ooh, that's a good run. But I don't know if that can go above a long run with a friend, so I'm gonna put it 4. But that is a good run.
I like it. I like it. Okay, the next run is that interval rage session when you're with a few people who are just as fast as you, maybe a little bit faster, and you're doing laps around the track at blistering speeds. It kind of feels like that scene from Top Gun where all the planes are going through the tunnel. The boys are lit up, the paces are high,
And Nickelback is
everybody's
playing out
pushing each
loud.
other every single segment.
Okay, well you just lost it there. But no, I'm not I'm not a VO2 max man. I'm more of a middle of the ranges. So that's gonna go up 5, and I feel good about that.
Okay, 5. Now this one, I think I'm not. Never mind. I'm not gonna add anything. So this is the run home in the evening after a few drinks. You've got questionable pacing, a little bit of wobbly line, but you've got elite confidence and no thought of tomorrow, and you're just running blinding lights through the streets of Toronto.
I mean, there is no better run than this. There's, no red light you won't run through. There's no heart rate that is too high. So that's an easy one.
Okay, easy one. So I guess all we have is the number 2 slot, right? Is that true?
Yeah, 2
I
spot.
think
Sorry,
that's
yeah,
true,
2
right?
spot. Yes,
Yeah.
2. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So the 2 spot is that pre-run right before a marathon, that shakeout when the entire community's together. You might be in an exciting new city, running with a new group, maybe some old friends that you haven't seen in a while, but you've been given kudos to leading up to that marathon block. The city's alive. You feel those vibes. You've got the confidence to go out and PR, and you're with the crew, maybe running along the, Rideau Canal or the streets of Berlin or around the, a few blocks of Chicago downtown. Does that, is that a good number 2?
I definitely maybe would have made some changes, but a solid number 2. I think in an ideal world, I would have put that number 1, the long run number 2, and the drinking run number 3 if I was thinking realistic. But I feel good with my list.
Yeah, I wasn't trying to sewer you with any, but I figured, those are some high hitting runs. And I was thinking about this kind of list, this idea during my run today because it was an absolute miserable run. I needed windshield wipers to keep the snow and fog off my clear glasses as the sun was coming down. And I was just dreaming about all the nice runs that I've had. And I figured, you'd
Yeah,
be
this
the
is a
man
good
to,
game.
to
I like
rank them
this.
all.
The only other one that maybe I would rank that would rival that top of like running through that new city with the crew would be that like big blizzard run. I feel like that is a top tier run in my opinion, where you're not thinking about pace, you're just going out having a great time, just trudging your way through. I always find that is so much fun.
Yeah, that is a very good run. When the like city shut down, nobody's out on the streets. It's pretty quiet. You can throw in music or just listen to, the stillness. That is a good run.
And I don't run through
You
them,
get a lot of those in
it's-
Ottawa.
Yeah, I'd rather just stay at home and do absolutely nothing.
While we're on the topic of good runs, I would also say the like very nice trail run at the perfect time in the fall when the weather's come down a little bit. It's a little cooler. You can just throw on, a long sleeve and a pair of shorts and just rip through the trails. It's hopefully not muddy on that day.
True. Nice
Those are
trail
really good
run.
runs,
I
too.
mean, you can't go wrong with the flow state, and I'm hoping to get more of that this summer. And I mean, another run you can't be beat. That now that we're part of this, now we're talking about this is the friggin' Ironman run, baby. You're walking half the time, so
what
it's
would you
real
say
nice.
is so good about that? That's true. That's true. Okay, I think that's a good place to leave this episode. Hopefully another time we can rank the best bike rides because all of those would be above the runs. So we can just keep going up from here. So yeah, thank you for joining us. Hopefully your spring training block is going well and the race that's coming up is something that you are looking forward to because this is the time of the year where things start to get real.
Yeah, and if you're in the middle of your block right now and you're starting to doubt yourself, you're starting to doubt that goal you're going for, just stay consistent.
Yeah, it's time to clock in. And if things aren't clicking, you're not alone because a lot of us need to click and clock in.
Make sure you're following us on Instagram. If you enjoyed this episode, send it to a friend. And if you're coming to the Night Shift 5K or you're debating it,
like I like to say,
either way,
you're
we'll see you
basically
there,
losing
so
money if
register
you
now.
ain't showing up. Always, we're not medical professionals or coaches. As you can tell, we have coaches ourselves. We're just people trying to figure it out and see what works for us. So do the same.
Stay consistent, trust the process, and we'll catch you on the next one.